In this video, you're going to be looking at the My Track Days feature of the Beyond the Track. Here's where you're going to be keeping track of your upcoming track days and estimated expenses for those activities. So by going to My Track Days, you get access to this New Track Day button where you're going to enter information about the event. Right? So for example, let's say that on March the 30th of 2019, I'm confirmed that I'm going to be attending to this event. I'm going to indicate what the track is, what organization I'm riding with, and then I can add information as far as the expenses that I know I'm going to be having, or maybe that I believe I'm going to be having. So for instance, the track day fee, say it's $170. There's no gate fee, no coaching fee. I can say, well, I know that professional photography goes at about like $50, and I could add a note here, for instance, tell the photographer I'll be dragging elbow on sugar and spice. Right? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Bike fuel, I can indicate, I believe I'm gonna spend about $15 on it. What else? Paddock, right? So maybe I'm gonna pay the $30 to reserve an awning there. And once it's reserved, I can indicate, look, it's gonna be canopy number 15, and so on and so forth, right? Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna hit save. And now I have my track day event registered in the system, right? At this point, another thing that I can do, if I look at this organization's website, we can see that there's a Saturday and Sunday event. Maybe I want to duplicate this event, right? Hitting the duplicate and then creating the one for the next day, which is March 31st, right? And everything else remains the same here, right? It copies the data over, so I can review that. So for instance, maybe I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to set it as tentative. I don't know for sure yet if I'm going to be able to make it. Maybe the track day fee, there's a little bit of a discount if you do 2 dates. Let's say that, I don't know, this would be 100 as opposed to 170. I can say, well, professional photography, I know that in this case, I don't have to pay for the second day when it's over a weekend, right? I can get rid of those notes as well. Maybe I'm going to spend the same amount on bike fuel. For the paddock, once I paid, it works for the weekend, right? And I can still keep the note here so that I don't forget the next day. I'm going to go ahead and save it, right? So it created a duplicate. If I go back to my track days page, it shows what I have this far, which is great. If I want to edit, maybe I want to come in here later and say, you know what, I'm going to go and edit this and indicate there's a discount applied here for the second day, and save it. Right, so it's gonna show that to me whenever I need. Remember, on the paddock, I've indicated 0 because I didn't have to pay on the second day, but I still have the note in there, which helps for, to keep track of it. So doing it this way, I can start like planning out my entire year. So to understand what kind of costs I'm looking at. Those are the estimated costs that I believe I may have. Another thing that I could do is to come in here and say, you know what, for this one here that I had set as tentative, I'm actually not going. I'm not going to be able to make it for whatever reason. So I can just go in and indicate that I'm not going, right? And then save that in here. Because again, I may want to come back and go from not going to actually going. So I can always go back and forth and indicate that. The reason why it's important to be able to do that is that whenever I set something to not going here, it's excluded. It gets excluded from the total that I have up to this point. So that's why we would be doing something like that. And then another option that we have here is, let's say that I had this one confirmed, but unfortunately it got canceled, right? So I can click in here and go cancel track day. Maybe the rider is canceling. Maybe I'm saying, you know what, my bike is not going to be ready, right? So maybe bike not ready, missing new tires or something like that, right? Or maybe it has been canceled by the organization for whatever reason. Maybe, you know, due to weather, right? It was a bad weather. I'm going to save that information, right? So it indicates here the present status as canceled and then the reason that we gave for that. And then again, we have that information showing in here.